Welcome back to the Brakecast. I'm your co-host Brandon.
And I'm your co-host Jake.
And today, like we said last week, or in this case, yesterday, we have a guest again. Mr. Wesley is back. Good to have you
Hello,
again.
hello. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
of
a
course.
pleasure. So, if you didn't catch the last episode, we talked about beer dye, and we're going to do more of the same today. But first, like we like to ask all of our guests, Wesley, what have you been up to since we've last spoken? Probably like a month plus ago.
Probably more, yeah.
About a month, maybe a month and a half. Lots going on, going through summer. Just moved to a new place, so that's been a whole mess in itself, but everything went smoothly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got two new roommates. Continuing on with I don't know if I mentioned where I was working, but I'm continuing on there. And I'm also getting my personal training certification right now and almost finished up with that. So
Oh, congrats. That's going to be huge. Get
Oh
started
yeah.
on that.
yeah,
It's
I'm
gonna be a lot
excited
of fun.
What type of like personal training are you doing? Are you like one of the dudes at the gym that like trains people like on strength, or are you doing more of like sports personal training?
Well, it'd be really dependent on which client wants whatever, Like I
Okay.
obviously specialize more in strength coming from a powerlifting background, but I can help with different needs. So currently with my job I'm working at now, my target demographic is older women. And so that's where I get most of
Hmm.
my experience now.
You get experience, huh?
Huh.
We could call it experience.
A little suspicious. Remember, it's PG-13, everyone. Okay, Wesley, actually, you know what? We forgot to ask. We have a burning question. So last week's podcast, Jake and I could not agree on this would you rather question. I have to ask you, you'll be the tiebreaker. So,
Okay.
would you rather have a rope or like a string around all of your teeth and the door slams so all of your teeth fall out, or a toothpick under each toenail and you kick the wall as hard as you can?
Hmm. I'm gonna go with the toothpicks.
Boom, Jinx!
Hey, let's go.
Oh my goodness. I can't. Wow, that's crazy. That is
It's way
crazy.
it's way less permanent than your teeth.
That's what I was thinking. The teeth, you mess up your teeth, you're screwed.
But you still have to. Okay, we're not going to get into this. I'm not going to get into it. Watch last podcast because I feel like I'm going to defend myself around. Wow, I'm surprised by that. Wow, wow,
I don't
wow.
think that's very surprising. Huh?
I bet it would hurt, but a flimsy toothpick, my body would take that.
Yeah. Okay. Worst case scenario, you lose all your toenails. That's
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather lose your toenails, 5 toenails, or
Yeah, but
all
it can
your
still go
teeth?
deep. It can still go deep in there, and you got to get them all removed.
That's like a day, maybe 2-day thing.
You'll
I
be
mean, teeth,
getting
you can get dentures. That's what I said.
Yeah, but dentures suck.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
but
want
do you still have
dentures.
teeth? I don't know. I'm gonna move on because I feel like that this podcast we get taken up by this argument again. That was the
Yeah.
only one that we couldn't come to a consensus about. Everything else, like maybe one of us disagreed, but at least we could sort of come to a consensus. That one we just refused.
Yep.
So with that, I think we'll move on to our topic of beer dye, but not just sort of like what we did last time. We kind of introduced the game and kind of talked through it. We're going to kind of talk about our personal favorite moments in beer dye, why we enjoy the sport, why, as Break Vlog, we endorse the activity of beer dye, right? Why it is
Yes.
such a good game. So, Wesley, I think since you're the guest, we'll have you go first. What is one moment that you really enjoy in dye? Like, what makes you want to keep going?
It's got to be the competitiveness. Having a very competitive background, playing tons of sports throughout my childhood. As you grow up, you kind of get away from that. You don't get many ways to get that competitive itch out. And beer dye is one very competitive sport. So as long as you have a teammate that matches the same energy, you can go as hard as you want in that game and really, really have fun.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't really think about how little you get to compete
Yeah.
Yeah,
as an
so,
adult. Like
you know
if you
what's
don't play college sports or professional sports, like once you're in college, like maybe you play rec
Mhm.
basketball at the rec center or wherever, but you don't get to truly compete.
Exactly.
I think it's funny. I actually watched a TikTok yesterday about a guy who was talking about how like in your after your mid 20s or during your mid 20s, it happens and you never notice it, is that you stop like just playing sports in general.
Mhm.
Right? We just one day you just stop, playing basketball or playing football, or in this case beer dye. Like you just kind of stop, and it's not really good, and it really shouldn't be normal. Like it's kind of seen as normal, I guess, to stop playing sports, but I really don't think that's the case.
I mean,
No.
playing sports is just time consuming, and that's
Yeah.
what we lose as we reach our 20s and up. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
a huge advocate for rec sports. I know Jake and I did the rec volleyball for a semester.
Yeah.
And then we played rec basketball in high school. I mean, that's a little different, but we played rec basketball in high school.
Yeah, and that was fun too.
Yeah, and I did
Yeah.
it in college with my fraternity. I played on the basketball team, and that was a good time.
Yeah, and I know even later than that, my dad he plays basketball with the church. They have like a group that plays basketball.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm being competitive is super in that way is super healthy.
Yeah, it's a good outlet to get that sort of drive out.
Yeah, it's good for the brain and the body.
Yeah, so Jake, I'm gonna go next because Wesley actually said a point that I really want to kind of piggyback off of. I think this is one of my favorite feelings is watching the opposing team's chemistry break. When you break your opponents, right?
Uh,
They keep dropping the dice, right? And all of a sudden they're starting to point at each other. What are you doing? Get in position. When you watch the opposing team break down, their chemistry's gone, you have already won that mental battle. I think chemistry is one of the most underrated things when it comes to die. If you are not on the same page as your partner, I don't think you have a good shot at winning, unless you have pure skill. But I feel like for me, with the player pool that we have, there are certain guys I play much better with than other people. I don't mind playing with anybody. In fact, I could probably do well with about anybody, but there's some people that really match the energy and good chemistry, like unspoken chemistry that makes me better.
And playing with
That's a-
your chemistry only amplifies your skills. So you could be having an off day, but if your teammates really kind of pulling their weight and picking you up, that's going to make you play better as well.
That's huge. And then also seeing basically crushing your teammate or your opposing team like mentally, right? That's game. When it's 9, when you scored 9 and they only have like 2, they're
Oh,
crushed
yeah.
mentally. Like they're gonna make sloppy mistakes. They're not gonna be in position. They might let a dice slip once or twice. Like you've broken them, especially if you sink them, tink them, do a big play, nice catch, whatever. You've got them in like
Oh.
you're in their head, rent free,
Yeah.
rent free.
Rent free. If you're nervous and somebody else is in your head, like we were saying, rent free, you're gonna drop those easy catches, that you
Yep.
would have normally caught, and then that just even adds to the beatdown even more.
Those simple
Exactly.
mistakes end up costing the game.
Really do.
They do.
They really do, especially in the early game too.
Yeah. Yeah. See, for me, those are both great aspects of it. I also just like just tossing, just getting the highest toss possible and it just
Just the
slamming,
simplicity.
just coming down, slamming back onto the table. Even better if it's a sink, getting that sink
Ooh,
is just
that
such a crisp,
breaks another team. Like
such a crisp feeling. Yeah,
you're
I remember.
just seeing the splash, like the opposing team just defeated.
Yeah, no, I remember a couple of years ago we were tailgating. It was at the Break Vlog Hype House, one, and
Yeah.
but I remember I got 2 sinks in one game, and I was just on. That might have been my best day I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that was just such a good feeling, just owning the other team.
Yeah. It was your table that day.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I think domination. That's another good thing about.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes with hand in hand with what I was saying too.
Yeah.
Because as you're dominating on the offensive end, you're breaking their spirits on the other end of the table.
Oh, yeah. And making good snags too. That can really defeat them. If let's say they've been off the table for a couple rounds and they finally get one on the table and it's like a good toss, and then you just catch it, like make a good catch.
Yeah, it makes that whole toss just feel worthless to them.
Yeah, and they feel more defeated. Like there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
They've been bested.
That's a really good one. I didn't really even think about that one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, because all right, what do you think is a worse feeling, missing or like having a catch missed on your side, or them catching your like good toss?
I think that I can pinpoint the worst feeling is a toss by the opposing team bounce on your side and then sink you
Oh yeah,
off a bounce because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
And
because if you reach over the table and try to grab it, it's an automatic
it's
point.
a foul, yeah, yeah. But if they sink it like directly on you, like wow, that was a good shot. But if
Yeah.
they get lucky on a bounce, I mean, you just got screwed.
yeah. It's not even skill; it's just luck.
Exactly.
Pretty
There's
much.
nothing you can do to defend it.
Yeah, there really is nothing you can do. It's just, yeah, those are really defeating. Like
Yeah.
those suck. Getting sunk on, it's not fun, but like that
Yeah.
sucks.
No,
Yeah.
and it's not as hype either. So because like with a straight sink, everybody's like, oh, even like yourself, you're probably
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, you got it.
Good
Yeah,
talk.
like the good toss. Like I always say good toss, like that was a good sink. I never
but-
am salty. But if it bounces, I'm salty. I'm like, no
Oh,
way.
yeah.
I should have done
Yeah.
that.
Uh,
No, I'd agree with that.
Dude, I
Um,
think for me, a really bad feeling. That's definitely the worst. But I think just missing that easy catch,
Yeah.
like that's just you're like, dude, what am I doing? Like what? Especially if you're already off, it just that can really ruin you if you miss that one catch.
Yeah, it really can. And then then you get in your head, you might miss the next easy one.
Yeah, I think everyone a really good tip that I personally can give is every toss is a new toss or every defensive action. So you just have to forget about what happened. Even if you just got sunk, even if both of you guys got sunk in one turn, you just have to forget about it and move on to the next one.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think you gotta have confidence in yourself as a player to know that like silly mistakes might happen, but you can't let that persist throughout the game.
Yeah, because you can't be perfect and die. Like you'll make easy mistakes, but you just have to keep going. I think that's what separates good players from great players.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see. What is your guys' favorite like toss? Like you're the one tossing. What's your favorite, like, besides a sink? Like, let's say it's not a sink, it's not a tank. Like, what's your favorite?
Oh, so like just a regular like where it hits and what kind of
Yeah.
happens. Okay. Wesley, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. I think kind of back on what you were talking about earlier, Brandon, but splitting the defense and having it go right up the middle. I mean, that just breaks their chemistry. It's a perfect toss. You couldn't ask for any more, and you're catching the enemies out of position. So
Okay, I gotta piggyback off that. I'm gonna do that, except when it rolls back between your cups. When they have to run and you set that pick and you lay them out and you're just looking at them on the ground, right? And you just look at them, you're like, I'm bigger than you, and you miss that toss.
mhm.
Dude,
No,
that's
those are nice.
ooh man, that gets me so hype.
Oh, that is nice.
Like that's just nasty. Like ooh man, when that's happened to me, I remember my fraternity. Someone got me like he was shorter than me, but he was like wider, right? So he had a lot of weight, and I just tried and I'd try to go through him, and I couldn't. I'd end up smacking the ground. He just looked at me, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to get up and do something about it. Like I was so mad.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are great because there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, and again, the pick, right? You're there again, you gotta be behind the table. You can't like move. You set that pick. It's cool, but if you can get around them though and make that snag, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's impressive to get a catch like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a top 10 play right there.
easily a top 10 play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jake, what about you?
Yeah, I like both of those, but yeah, when I thought of the question, that was what I was thinking was splitting the defense. Like, it hits the right spot on the die and it just goes fast, like zooms straight between them, and they just like look at
Or if you
look at
nick the
each other like,
table,
"Oh."
I like that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah,
Those are also good.
always
It's just
really nice.
boom, not a ton you can do, especially because it nicks it so fast. Unless it bounces like straight out, if it just sinks down, like there's really not much you can do. That's why you got to play those corners a little bit because you'll have more of a chance. You just stand both behind the table right here. You're not going to do it. You got to play the corners. Sometimes even more towards the sides as well. Placement is key.
Definitely.
It is. That's a big part of the defense.
Mhm.
Because you get the people that haven't played before, they just sit like straight on the edge, on the back.
Yeah,
You got to be an
They're just
athletic
both sitting there,
stance.
and the first one that goes to the side, they're whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't hit it.
You got to be in those, playing those corners, sometimes a little bit to the side.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess one thing I wanted to sort of talk about, I guess, sort of leading up to the next thing, I think we should talk a little bit about what is sort of our favorite defensive placement. Like, what is our natural go-to? I know I talked about corners, but are you more of an inside guy, so you're on the corner, but you're a little bit inside, or are you more outside and you're kind of getting close to the line, or how do you sort of play defense? What is your go-to?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely a corner guy. I'm more like, I like to say just middle corner, right at the 45.
Yeah, right at the point.
Yeah, because then you have easy access to the side. It does make if it shoots out between like straight back, it does make that a little harder though.
Mhm.
So
I think a lot of that you just got to read your table, because I know I've played on poorly placed tables that are at a slant where the die will want to just run down and split the defense a majority of the time. So you really got to read positioning.
Yeah, I think another thing is watching the die in the air. When you've played enough, you have an idea of where it might go and trying to call out to your opponent. Not to your opponent, your partner. I always call out and try to be like, okay, it's gonna be long, it's gonna be short. It's looking like it's your side. Maybe start to move over. Maybe if I start seeing it on my side, and it's on the side, I'll start branching more towards the side. But it can get tricky if it rolls. The worst is when it's right at your side, right at the edge, and then it rolls this way and it goes all the way over on the other side. Because remember, they're trying to like support you in the middle, right? You're going out here, they're kind of like a shortstop or reliever, kind of going in here, but then it's just all the way over.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I know
horrible.
what you're talking about, because you shift out of position to assist, and then it just runs all the way across.
Yeah, because if it doesn't go out the end, the next place it's likely to go is towards the middle, but not boom and then all the way to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I usually just kind of watch the die in the air, sort of call out, get both of us ready. I think when it comes to partners, I think understanding each other's roles, some guys have stronger roles than others. Like, I like to call out like everything, but some guys, they're more subtle when they do it, right? Or maybe they're the better catcher. So if there's one that's kind of unpredictable, I'll be like, hey, you should go there. Or even on offense, tossing order. Some people are better tossing first, some are better at tossing second.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That goes back to chemistry. You got to know your partner. If you're playing with someone new, like it's tough to beat someone who's been playing together, especially if they've been running the table all day.
Definitely.
and sometimes you gotta pick. If it feels right, you're like, all right, I want to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And you just do it.
You might
You
just
gotta,
grab the seat.
yeah, you gotta trust your partner. If they're insisting they go first, then they probably have a reason.
Yeah.
They're feeling it.
Yeah, but also being comfortable making those audibles too, being like, hey, let's switch the order, or let's switch this or switch that, or aim for something else or do a different strategy. I don't think that's utilized enough, because if it's not working, you may as well switch it, especially earlier in the game. Don't wait
Definitely.
until they've scored 10 on you, because you pretty much game over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like bingo. You can't. If you want to switch cards because yours not getting anything, like you better do it early.
Definitely.
I don't know if that's a good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bingo.
I don't know if that's really a good analogy. Yeah.
Some cards are better than others at
I
certain
mean, that's
rounds.
true. I mean, that's somewhat luck as well with what they pick out, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Bingo. From beer die to bingo. Do we play beer bingo?
Beer.
Ooh, that would be kind of fun.
Should we talk about a die that we kind of constructed, Jake?
Oh, I think that'd be fun.
Oh, are you talking about
Fun.
those special rules?
We could just,
Yeah, power.
Yeah, I
die.
think I'll let you guys kind of take the lead. And I'll give you, I guess, just some of my insider, what I think about certain things. I'll let you just go ahead and explain.
Okay. So this is a proposed version of die. It is not replacing
Break
die.
vlog
To get that out of
version.
the way first, classic die is still the sport.
That's the king.
This is more of like a fun game.
this would be just like a way to kind of like level up, try something new.
Especially like if you've been playing for like hours, eventually you might want to switch things up.
Yeah.
This would not be like a new player type thing to go with. You'd want to play like you play this with your buddies that you've played die a million times with.
Yeah. die veterans.
Exactly.
Uh, so pretty much, there's just different rules about different aspects of the game, different things you do. So I guess I'll start us off with catching. So what we have here, behind the back catch. So you catch it, that's pretty self-explanatory. You catch the die behind your back. It results in 1 point awarded to the person that catches it, and the other team loses a point. And now this only applies to die that hit the table. So you can't, catch it in midair. Like, it's got to hit the table. So you're actually like risking a point yourself by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that rule, Brandon? I don't know if we want to go rule by rule.
Okay, so real quick, kind of like behind the back, is it like behind, or can you like wrap your arm around a little bit? Or I guess I can't reach all the way around. So
I'd say
wrapping around, I'd say.
yeah, I think that's a kind of a cool rule, because if you're willing to risk it, you should get rewards. I think though, if you have not been playing for that long, just don't even try. I would rather be safe than sorry. But if it's like an easy candied lollipop bounce, candy bounces are like these super high, easy bounces. They're the worst whenever you toss you think the best toss ever, and then they get this candy old bounce, and it's right in, like they could just be sitting there, not even paying attention, looking away. Boom, they catch it. It's right there, right? If it's like a candy bounce, then I would go for it. But I think it's really cool for a risk, and I like how, again, they might lose a point, but you might gain it. But if you don't catch it, then you lose it and they gain it. So I think it's a good risk.
Yeah, that's what we thought, like when we were developing it. It's got
that rule is really solid.
Because if it's way over, might as well try. But since this kind of gets rid of that.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'd like to add on to that is it kind of works like a tink in the fact that it changes the scoring by 2 points. But instead of progressing one team up 2, it pushes allowing the game to continue longer. So it doesn't get you to the victory of the game as fast as just adding 2 points would.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a net of 2 points for the catching team, but it's not like you gain 2 points.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's one of the better rules. All right, so then another rule about catching, we got, if you get this many, everybody can see.
Oh, he did. I was gonna say, he didn't even say it.
Team catches in a row. So like your team catches, Biz tosses in a row. Like they don't miss 5.
Jake, go get one.
All right, we're done. Yeah. No, but
that out.
Anyway.
Leave that out.
Yeah. Censor.
Anyway, well, somebody might not know. Yeah, then they can make a rule for the next turn. So like, and it's just like one turn. So they can make a rule like the other team has to toss with their eyes closed for the next turn or something like that. Like if your team doesn't miss, Biz catches in a row.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, okay, so I have a question. So let's say, like, if they if they sink, the opposing team sinks, does that 5 reset, or is that 5 still alive?
What do you mean? Oh,
So,
if they sink, I'd say it's reset.
Okay, because I was like, technically you don't catch it, but like it never left the table. Okay, so it would reset after sink. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's one that might be edited in the future. Like if we're on, for example, if like today, one day we have a group and we're playing and like we're all on, I think we could even put the number up a little higher. I think it does add a little variance. I think we should I think there should be something clear about what rules you can add. Like you can't be like, oh, this, if you don't catch it, it's 5 more points for me.
No.
Oh, I said it. I gotta go get one.
Yeah. No, I think it should be like a rule about like the toss, like not concerning points, just like how they toss it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that should be something that we clarify. Cause again, I could be like, okay, new rule. This will be 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one's cool. I think, again, if you've been playing all day and you guys are on, I think it'll really help make the game interesting, have more variance. So, yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
I think that one just need a little bit of specifics of, so nothing gets too crazy.
Yeah, this is just a draft.
Oh,
So,
Siri.
all right. So then that was it for catching so far. If you have more rules, we can talk
No,
about.
I want to listen to these
Okay.
and just kind of give my critique since I am the elder die player out of everyone here.
That's true. Okay,
I have
so
been playing the longest by a semester.
that's true. All right, so we got tossing rules now. So a backwards toss will double the points received from the play. You can only use it one time per person per game, kind of like an island in beer
That's
pong.
good. Yeah.
So I think that would be fun because it's like,
I-
it's like just to risk.
Yeah,
wait, so
position.
sorry.
If you're in like a crunch setting and you need to get more points on the board, you could risk it and potentially get nothing out of that, or you could double down your points and get 2 to
You
6.
can get 6. Yeah.
Yeah, if you sink, I think that one's pretty cool. I know you get 0. I think there should be a little bit of a penalty because of how big the reward could be. Maybe like minus a point or something like that.
If you don't hit the table.
Yeah, like if you don't hit
Yeah,
the
that'd
table.
be good.
Because what if you just chuck it and you throw it backwards? Like I feel like that's a really cool rule, but there might need to be something as a little more punishing. Because I feel like if we have ways to get more than 1 point, I want to say a little bit easier, right? You just have to hit the table and it goes off. I feel like there needs to be some sort of balance with a punish.
But then again, you can only do it once per game, so that's kind of the
Yeah, that's true. I think that one. I think either or. I think that's one that that might discuss further. I guess since it is once a game, I think that's the punish enough. Since you can only do it once, it's like a lifeline pretty much.
It's a specialty.
Yeah.
Play.
You can whiff the table, so
Yeah. Okay, so here's another, and this is another good one, I think. If you get height called on you 3 times in a game, you have to kill your drink and then do 20 push-ups immediately, like after.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. Because there have been some games and I'm not gonna, there's some people in our group notoriously, might add, not as much anymore, but notoriously throwing barely high enough, and it stinks because I'm like, dude, I've called height like biz times in a game, right?
Yeah,
I'm getting kind of tired of calling it. Like you gotta know at this point, right? There needs to be a punishment. Like eventually you gotta know. Like the first time. Second time, right? First time, oh, whatever, stuff happens, right? Maybe it's your first toss of the game. Second time, okay, like you probably need to know. And then your third time, all right, like you know at this point, you know what you're doing. Definitely the drinking and then some push-ups. I think that's good.
Now, I would rather you miss the table and get proper height than hit the table with, bad height.
I'm going to say this. I don't know if it's controversial hot take. I think it's disrespectful to the game when you don't get height.
I agree.
Those dice are meant to be tossed at a level, right? Die is not meant for the weak.
No.
Right? You want those beautiful, high, long arcing tosses, right? We're not here for a centimeter off the ground or barely up. We want them up because also tossing higher, it works way better anyways.
Like it does.
There should not be any debate on it. It should be clear every toss that you got it where it needed to be, and
I agree.
Put it in the right distance.
Dude, plus a good high toss when it leaves the dice, leaves your hand.
Oh, it feels so good. All right, so
I like that though. That's a good one. I think there does need to be some sort of punishment. That's a good one.
Yeah, and then building off that one, I might go a little quicker because we're running out of time here. But
yeah, just do like the most important ones.
Yeah, so building off of that one, it's if you get height called on you biz times, you're disqualified from the rest of the match, and you got a shotgun and kill your drink.
I think that's self-explanatory. We already sort of talked about it. It's like, come on, biz times, really? Like you gotta know by now, and that's biz tosses. Biz tosses.
All right,
that's ridiculous.
Then another one having to do with tossing. We're gonna say if you miss the table 3 times in a row, you have to do 20 push-ups on the spot. I mean, it's just like get better,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a little bit higher because sometimes you might have like a couple rounds where it's just not your day.
That's true, but I mean, this is more of a fun game. It's not like
Well, yeah, this would. I guess this would be more. You would play this after you're kind of been playing for a little bit. Like the first game of the day, I wouldn't want to do that rule. But maybe like 5 or 6 games in, when we're all kind of warmed up, I think that'd be good.
I mean, I feel like this kind of, it's not meant to take as seriously as regular.
Yeah.
Oh, I take
Die.
this seriously.
Yeah.
But
All
also,
right.
20 push-ups isn't that
No.
of a
It's not-
demand.
yeah.
It'll be like the pressure system to get you to perform, Don't
That's
be
true.
at the table to have 3 complete misses.
Yeah, if you can't,
Exactly.
handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, man. If you can't handle the
That's
die,
right.
get off the table.
Yeah, maybe
Right.
find a practice spot. Go play
Yeah.
a lot for a little bit.
Go in the gym, get the those
JV
tables
team.
or whatever, and just
Strengthen up that toss. Get the-
yeah.
All right. So we got to go kind of quick. I'll just go over the last couple important ones. We said when a biz is rolled, X number of times in a row, there are like rules with it.
Yeah, tiered consequences.
So, number 1, if you get no wait, oh yeah, all right. So just 1 biz, everybody drinks. That's regular die.
Yeah, that's standard.
If you get 2 bizzes in a row, everybody chugs. So it's like a good 2-second, 3-second chug. If you get, it's called a buzz, by the way.
Wait, is it the same person?
No, everybody.
Oh, okay.
If you get 3 bizzes in a row, it's called a ruzz. Everybody kills their drink. All right.
So
4
chug would be
biz-
just a timer. Like we have a timer of
Yeah.
whatever.
3 or 4 seconds. And then a gruzz is 4 bizzes. Everybody shotguns a separate drink. So you keep
Okay.
your drink and shotgun a separate one. And then last one, bizzes in a row is a schnoz. And everybody kills their drink. And then all the participants shotgun an additional drink. And the game is over, resulting in a tie.
Dude, I feel like PG-13 kind of. If I wanted to be off the deep end, I feel like that I would just start rolling them. Or I feel like you could troll so easily. Or listen to this. You could start if you're losing all of a sudden and you're really getting blown out, you could try to go for bizzes.
Mhm.
It'd be hard to do though. I look the chances are 1 in a couple 100,000.
I know,
of
but still though, or if you're like, man, I haven't played enough games. Let me just get my money's worth. That one's funny. A schnoz. I like the
Yes.
terminology.
Mhm.
I think that one's
Well-
cool. I think at that point though, some of this stuff we definitely need a good referee who does keep track of certain things.
Yeah. Well, no, that's another rule. So yeah, so there's going to be a judge who officiates and keeps tracks of all the stuff, and he'll also drink
we should just do that in
along.
a standard game too.
Yeah, he'll also drink along with everybody else, so
Oh,
it'll be a
that's a
part
good
of the
one.
game.
No downtime.
And then last one, real quick, it's just about the total cumulative number of bizzes rolled during the game, and there's different things. Right now they're push-ups, so we can change the punishment. Like if there's 20 bizzes in a game, everybody has to do.
Oh, the last one was
push-ups,
just in a row?
Yes.
Yeah, the last one was in a row.
Okay.
This one is total. So,
Mhm.
Okay.
but yeah, it might be hard to get to the upper levels of the biz, like the schnoz. I don't know if we'll ever see a schnoz. Maybe
Dude, if we do, we'd have to record it for Break Vlog.
we do.
Guy
First
rolls
ever
schnoz like
schnoz.
an idiot.
First ever power die schnoz.
Dude, that'd be cool. I like those rules a lot. I think it's really good. I think when I'm back in town, I might have some ideas as well. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
But I think time is expiring real quick. I know we probably have a lot more to say, but time is expiring. Wesley, thank you again for coming on to the podcast. It's always a pleasure having you here and talking beer die.
Mhm. It's always a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
So this has been your co-host, Brandon.
I'm Jake.
And this has been the Brakecast. We'll see you next time.
See ya.